When you hear the term mixed martial arts, you usually think of the sport of cage fighting in the octagon. We think of the bloody fights and highlight reel knockouts that people pay big money to watch. I personally think it's a cool sport, unique in its taste, and for those that enjoy it, that's great. I don't pay much attention to it myself, which I've been told is a shocker to some people, being that I'm a martial arts teacher. But if you know me, you know I view martial arts a little differently, and therefore I think differently when it comes to mixing martial arts. Let me start by saying I don't believe there is such a thing as a complete martial art. I don't believe any style is superior to all others. I do, however, see that some arts have strengths over others, but lack in certain aspects that the other arts are more proficient in. I think that's a good thing. As humans, we all have different opinions, perspectives, interests, and strengths of our own, which means that to different people, different arts are more appealing, and our own personalities and physical attributes even allow us to excel better in certain arts over others. I'm very happy for you if you attend or teach at a school that you feel is, quote, complete, but I guarantee you if they cover their martial arts bases well, the master or sensei has experience in several martial arts, or their master comes from a background of multiple arts. Somewhere in the chain has contributed information and techniques from across several different styles. No one person was able to develop a perfect system all on their own. The best systems stem from having input from a bunch of independent sources who went through iteration after iteration of trial and error, made mistakes, and figured out what worked versus what didn't. Is that not one of the biggest life lessons we are constantly reminded of? Learn from the mistakes of others, right? Be wary of any instructor who claims to be self-taught or has received all of their training from one individual source. To me, that's kind of like those who get involved in politics receiving 100% of their information from a single news source. If you never get out from under that shadow, you believe everything you hear without question, and you feel like what you're receiving is complete because you have nothing to compare it to. I am a Taekwondo and Hapkido instructor. My grandmaster hails from Korea as a second-generation practitioner in both arts. He's actually the first one who put me on to mixing martial arts. For example, even though we practice Korean arts, I also have practiced a little bit with Chinese weapons such as the chain whip and spear under his instruction. From there, I branched out a bit and learned more, specifically with the chain whip, which is my favorite weapon to practice with today. No, I don't consider myself a practitioner of wushu, nor would I ever try to teach it, but I think adding that small aspect of another art has widely opened my eyes to what is out there to learn. Grandmaster Kim has explained to us before that his delving into other arts was frowned upon back in the day by traditional masters in Korea. I think we've all seen some form of that before, that trying to take classes in another art or learning something different from another instructor can come off as disrespectful to a student's original master. The fact is, that's just not true, and learning from multiple separate entities can only benefit you as a martial artist. Even if one of the other instructors is, quote, bad, you can still learn from them, as in what not to do. Broadening your horizons can only make you more complete and well-rounded. I always encourage my black belts to take time to learn another type of art if they are serious about improving, based on their interests. I think any teacher that would get offended by that needs to check their pride and come down from their pedestal. No single person is capable of becoming an expert in everything, and that should be the beauty of society. We should share the research of our own expertise with one another and see what others can offer. We should continue to better each other, not always try to compete and tear others down to build ourselves up. So would I call myself a mixed martial artist? Not by any means, partially because that term is already mostly reserved for the cage fighting that we started this video with. But I do plan to continue mixing martial arts, trying different styles to see what fits me, and most importantly, keep learning. Complacency and stagnancy can lead to loss of interest and regression. So if you're thinking about trying something else but feel like being a beginner again would drop your self-esteem, I promise it won't if you go in with the right attitude. The beginning of any journey is actually the most exciting part, because that's when everything is fresh and new and you can consume a lot of information at once. Most of all, respect others for what they choose to bring them fulfillment, and try to find something to learn from each person you meet. You'll never run out of lessons that way. Thanks for watching.